We recently showed off 10 neat details hiding in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that can only be found by looking beyond the edges of the screen. And it's all thanks to the impressively dexterous pause screen camera. And since we had so much fun the first time, we couldn't help but go on the hunt for even more off-screen secrets. Now, if you missed our previous video, make sure to watch it first for numbers 1 through 10, as we'll be picking up right where we left off at. And right off the bat, let's head back to Onett, because there's one more neat detail here that's just a little trickier to find than the others, as it's not just off camera, but behind the camera. And pretty much the only way to find it is by hitting pause and zooming out all the way, while keeping the camera low to the ground. Do you see that dirt patch? That's actually the start of a baseball diamond. And we can even find a plate on either side. Again, it's one of those details that doesn't need to be there, and yet it is. It's truly impressive how much there is to be found on this stage, both off-screen and on it. Yeah, you better believe we weren't going to miss that pun twice in a row. The Great Cave Offensive is ridiculously big, including in ways you might not fully realize. While most of the stage can be easily seen during normal gameplay, there is one element that's so large, we struggle to fit it all in even with the new camera. So you're probably already familiar with the old tower that stretches all the way from the bottom of the screen to the top. But what you probably didn't know is that it doesn't stop there, or anywhere even close, as it keeps going and going and going. Look at how huge it is!
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Magican't is all about celebrating the Earthbound and Mother series, and that includes a rather big cameo by none other than Dungeon Man, who occasionally roams around beneath the stage. But did you know he's actually hiding a much smaller cameo all of his own? And it's nearly impossible to see during normal gameplay. Because if you manipulate the pause screen camera for a look inside through his eyeball, you'll find none other than Dungeon Man's true original form embedded in the wall inside, being Brick Road. And this is one of those details that is entirely new to Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yeah, the developers really do have an eye for detail. Fourside is one of the more impressive stages back in Smash Bros. Melee. And now that's even more the case in Smash Bros. Ultimate, because as part of its massive renovation, it's gained a few new details that simply didn't exist before, such as how the apartments on the right, which were previously portrayed only with flat window textures, now exist as fully realized three-dimensional spaces that you can see through the glass panes. Pretty neat, huh? But what's even neater is that a similar detail can now be found on the central Monotoli building, and this time it's not for a generic apartment. Instead, it's the main office of Mr. Monotoli himself. Now, even though this detail is super easy to overlook, I know what you're thinking. Hold up, Andre, this isn't an off-screen secret. And you're totally right. And that's why we're not done yet, because there is a little bit more to it. But it requires us to go even deeper. Because if we zoom in all the way, we can actually push the camera right through the glass and into the office itself, revealing its true colors. So rather than the dark, muddy appearance it has through the windows, it's actually a bright gold, which matches up perfectly with how that very room appeared in Earthbound. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate truly is golden when it comes to the finer details. The living room is another one of those stages that got a massive overhaul compared to the 3DS version. But for as lovely as this room appears to be, it's a little sparse, don't you think? Well, as it turns out, there's actually a lot more going on here than you might think. So if we pause the game and look to the right, whoa! Look at all of that stuff! There's an incredibly intricate fireplace, complete with lit fire, along with extra firewood on the right, and a poker on the left, along with a pot and some pans hanging to the side. And if we zoom out a bit, we can find some dinnerware on display, along with candles on a shelf. It's pretty neat stuff, especially since none of this was in the 3DS version. And that's not all. Because if we take a look at the other side of the room, we can find a giant window that looks out upon some trees with a vase and a couple of candles resting on the windowsill. It's pretty wild how there's almost more happening off-screen than there is on. And there you have it, 5 more secret details hidden off-screen in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But if you want even more, make sure to check out our previous video where we explore 10 others. But have you found any others of your own? Let us know by posting in the comments below. And with that, thanks for watching. And make sure to click that subscribe button for more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and everything else Nintendo.